Sabik, a world in the Draconis Combine. Orbiting twin stars, each between 3 and 4 times the mass of Terra's Sol, it's a miracle that a potentially life-bearing world like Sabik could exist at all. Still, aside from a breathable atmosphere and a limited supply of free water, very little about Sabik was found to recommend this world for settlement during its initial surveys. The land, almost universally rugged and dry, with abrupt cliffs and mountains, interspersed by rocky badlands and the occasional asteroid crater, supported but one form of life, an exceptionally stubborn purple-leaved plant that carpets most of its deep valleys and chasms. A disappointing lack of sizable mineral deposits, infertile soil, and high year-round temperatures kept away prospective colonists and industries. By the time of the Star League, only a handful of rugged frontier settlers had claimed this barren world as their home, where they eked out an existence by braving hazardous terrain and blazing heat to mine the planet's few veins of industrial metals. The Star League, however, saw value in Sabik as a potential base for military training and technological development, and established their harsh terrain test center and a special arms service training center to test new battle mechs, vehicles, and troops in its brutal environment. After the League's collapse, the Draconis Combine assumed control of this world and established a small military presence for potential operations against the Lyran Commonwealth. Small military presence. Despite a minimum of population, Comstar established an HPG on this world, as they, too, took an interest in a planet abandoned by General Kerensky's departing fleet. What Comstar discovered, completely without the Dragon's knowledge, in fact, was the presence of a SLDF staging base, hidden well beneath the HTTC command center. In addition to 2 companies of mixed battle mech and vehicles, the base also had detailed computer files on every Combine and Commonwealth planet within 5 jumps of Sabik. As of the 32nd century, well, 31st right now, this world is little more than an outpost, with no agricultural or mineral wealth worth exploiting, though some corporations have expressed an interest, as many before, in mining the hazardous asteroid belts, and using Sabik itself as a home for their local headquarters. Sabik has no continents, per se, but boasts a single ocean in its northern hemisphere, Black Oasis, from which a number of minor rivers radiate across the otherwise barren surface. Mephistos, the capital world, capital city, is located on the northern shores of this ocean, a mere 500 kilometers from the planet's north pole. Well, I almost got through that without fucking up. This is the planet that's been giving me hell for the last fucking month. Cripes. Now, I will note that all of this was already included in. This comes from actual canon that they have in the giant Battletech universe. And there's lots of planets that have this on here. Not all of them will, but many of these are after established worlds that actually have established lore. Some of them not so much. Stuff like this probably just showed up on a map somewhere, and someone's like, well, they have it on the map there, we'll put it in this game, but they don't really have any lore for it, so we'll just leave that blank. But in any case, today is July 1st, 3029. The last month of our contract with the Lyran Commonwealth. Oh, did they call it the Lyran Alliance in this? Nope, Lyran Commonwealth. Yeah, that would have been, well, maybe I spoiled it. Point is, our contract for the Lyran Commonwealth against the Draconis Combine, a quick raid has turned into an enormous slog. Just a meat grinder of a campaign in which the Draconis started off kind of weak, had kind of bowed to pressure for a little bit after they threw a couple tough encounters, and then all of June has just been a hideous slog meat grinder. It's been tough, folks, and we're still not quite done. Our contract is up July 10th. That means that we've just got 10 more days on this dust ball. which means we've got one more fight for this week, potentially another who knows how many next week, probably two, given how hard they've come before. And unfortunately, we did not convince them that we were making progress, despite the fact that for the last month we've had one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. We had 8 encounters during the month of June, only one of which was a true defeat, although they made many of them kind of Pyrrhic victories. That said, one more week after this one, and we are out of this game. It might even be possible for us to get our contract score back up to 1 if they throw me one more before the contract ends. Wouldn't that be fun to at least come away with this with the Lyrans who have been bending us over from day one, having to admit to the Mercenary Review Board that despite their best efforts, they couldn't give us a failing grade. That would actually be pretty nice, a nice salve on what has been a very harsh contract. We'll do a post-op on this contract a little more. I think after each contract finishes, I'm going to do another video which is just talking about the contract as a whole and mistakes made as a whole. So instead, let's just talk about June and what we're looking forward to on July. Well, we already kind of talked about June. June was rough. Lots of fighting happened during it. Lots of things that dug into us, did damage to us, and lost us some pretty essential equipment, but nothing that we can't survive. We can survive this. We will continue to survive this. Contract market is empty, sadly. That makes me sad because unfortunately, that means that we're going to have to abandon this planet at the end with no contract to speak of afterwards, and that probably means we'll have to pay our own damn way, which is sad. Now, fortunately, the place that we would go to by default is Outreach, which, if I remember, no wait, did I get that one right? No, I must not have. It's currently listed as a, uh, um, the primary hiring location for the mercenary trade. Oh, right. That's right. Outreach isn't the main one yet. Well, hell, where did we start? I thought we started on Outreach, but apparently it's right now a Capellan planet rather than an independent. Hmm. Well, okay, enough of me getting confused by my own lore. I'll figure out where we're going. Just know that because we don't have a contract, we'll have to go somewhere. Hell, maybe if we've actually succeeded at this contract, the Lyrans will accept us in one of their main worlds, and we can just kind of squat on their home for a bit. They owe us that much. In any case, for this month, we also have a special event, Comstar Interdict. Base availability level decreases by 1 for the rest of the contract. Availability level dictates how easy it is to get equipment. Stuff like stuff like the arms that I've been buying, ammunition, weapons, all so on and so forth. This Comstar Interdict makes it much harder to get your hands on it. Now that's not going to impact us too much because we've only got 10 days left on this planet. Even if we can't buy stuff for the rest of that time, we're out of here. So it's pretty okay that we got this late. Unfortunately, I don't think it counts as one of those minor breaches, so we're not going to get that out of it. But it does kind of go to show, evidently, Comstar, who is the local uh, giant internet service provider turned religion of the setting, has been keeping eyes on the goings on Sabik, especially because they've got, apparently in the fluff, some kind of secret base out here that they're exploiting. And they're like, man, these Lyrans are up to some shady damn shit here. I think they're trying to run an insurance scheme. Well, let's just cut resources off from them and see how much longer they run into this. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe this was supposed to be a much longer contract, but Comstar caught on to their shenanigans. Whoever's in charge of this is going to get indicted, and now we have to go home with the last pay stub. So that would be a real pisser if it happened earlier in the contract. It would mean that we would have difficulty actually getting a lot of the repair supplies that we needed. But the fact that it didn't is okay. It's not as good as actually getting a reward, but it's close. Uh, we've been doing maintenance throughout. Our maintenance has generally been good. We started with so many veteran people that I was able to dedicate veterans to doing repairs, even though we're in an active contract. So that turned out really great. That is one thing that's gone really well for this campaign. We did start with some really high quality people. I'm super, super happy about that. It's allowed me to do a lot of good work, even though we've been beset by troubles. In any case, what we have to look forward for the future, um, we currently have about 5 million C bills, some of it from payment, some of it from uh, some salvage. Although, let's talk about our salvage for a bit. So, our salvage hasn't been too bad this game. We've got a lot that's actually still sitting in our bay waiting to be salvaged, especially all of these vehicles. None of these are particularly any kinds of vehicles I want to take. It's just that the one guy that I have working on all of these, uh, my only mechanic, Roderick Rungaldier, has been working himself to the bone trying to get this shit stripped of anything useful. Funny story. So, a couple weeks ago, uh, right after those battles that we had, like the three battles in a row, we actually had a problem that I'd never had before in any other campaign. We started running out of standard armor. We actually started running out of the one of the most frequent units of salvage that you get. Now, fortunately, thanks to the fact that we finally claimed a lot of vehicles and have had Roderick pretty much working overtime. Well, not literal overtime. He's been just working his 8 hours. I could toggle this, but I don't really see any reason to. He deserves his rest. But since he's been working on that nonstop, we've managed to strip a lot of these of their armor, and pretty much as soon as we strip them of armor and any useful ammo, they go straight to the cell bin. Now, we don't just have vehicles, we also have some mechs that we're working on. The Jaeger mech, I actually re-armored it up and then realized, well, I'm never going to field this. If I'm looking at it honestly, with the equipment that it has, it's effectively a mech that is 10 tons heavier than, but almost exactly armed and armored as the trebuchet that I already have. The LRM-15s and three medium lasers of my trebuchet that Hog has, and 120 armor versus, well, you won't see how many armor uh, the just select the Jaeger mech has because I've been stripping it off. But trust me that it would be like around 102, and that means it's armored like it. It doesn't have much more in the way of armament. Those AC2s would allow him to shoot from a long range, but it's also slower, so he would have more difficulty getting into range. This particular version of the Jaeger mech is not impressive, and although I could refit it, the fact that I've had a pain in the ass time trying to reattach the head also means that I'm just going, I mean, no surprise, look at where it is. The Lyran's apparently, I think the Jaeger mech is a Lyran mech. It looks like one. And apparently they designed the whole thing and they're like, well, wait, where's the head supposed to go? And then someone's like, oh shit, we made this little curved area where the head was supposed to go. Well, just put it on like a pelvis shelf. Okay, so they put it on a pelvis shelf. And then they have this little handlebar back here. I have no idea what that's supposed to do. And big waiter feet. Anyway, mech looks stupid. I'm not going to use it in battle. We're going to strip its armor back off, probably loot its LRM-15s and all of its ammo. We'll leave the AC2 ammo. Who cares about AC2? And sell that on the market. That'll be worth a nice couple mil. Uh, we've also got the Rifleman. that I've been working on stripping the. Oh, it looks like I did manage to strip the AC5s off of it. So this thing is now good to sell. And guess what? You get to witness it. I'm not using this. It's got two AC5s and two large lasers. That sounds like a good loadout, but it's only got 10 heat sinks. It can fire. It can run and fire one of those large lasers and remain heat neutral. It can fire one of those large lasers in both its AC5s and remain heat neutral if it stands still, but that's like just not that much damage versus the fact that it's slow moving. It was like the Jaeger mech, very lightly armored, like around 100 armor for a heavy mech. it's just it's carrying around a large laser that doesn't do it anything, and all of its refits don't solve this problem. There is no refit of this thing that puts more than 10 heat sinks on it, and that's ridiculous. Heat sinks are the name of the game. It's how you keep firing weapons. You can pile as many fucking large lasers on a mech as you like, but if you can't fire them, what's the point? So away it goes in, into the cell bin. That is 2,000 more credits for me. I am slightly happier. That's all that we have planned. Oh, no, wait, there is one more that we have planned to sell. I forgot to talk about this a while ago. So, a while back, we had a recon raid done by Firebrand Lance. You might recall this one. It was the one where the Lyrans just launched out a bunch of vehicles and we totally shithoused them. Just completely razzle-dazzled them and rocked them to their core. And when you succeed at a recon raid, you get what's called a bonus roll. This can result in lots of things. Bonus, what are they called? Dependents, like the medics that we got earlier. Bonus vehicle, some bonus parts. We actually rolled bonus civilian mech. The civilian mech we got was this travesty. This is the Dervish DV-1S. This is what happens when the police forces of a world say, you know what? We need to be really cool. You know what are cool? Battle mechs. We can't afford a battle mech. Are you crazy? The fusion engine alone would bankrupt the planet. Well, tell you what if we took this particular type of battle mech, the Dervish, it's a very common mech, and instead of buying it with a fusion reactor so it could do stuff, we just put a big fucking diesel engine in it. And they're like, genius, but we also can't afford armor that's not cardboard. And then they're like, just put cardboard on it. Who the hell's gonna know? This is entirely to scare fucking criminals. We're not gonna actually use this for anything. So then you have the Dervish DV-1S. The Dervish DV-1S is a Dervish that is equipped with very cheap components. It's equipped with a engine, but don't be fooled. This is a internal combustion engine. This is not your standard fusion engine. Its cockpit is a primitive cockpit, which means rather than having like so neat thing that lots of cockpits and battle mechs have is what's called a neuro helmet. It's essentially an uplink system that allows the brain waves or whatever of the pilot to link with that of the mech, so that you're not controlling it just with joysticks and buttons. You're actually like feeling the movement of the mech and directing it with your brain in somewhat. The primitive cockpit is literally just the joystick and buttons. It's just, you trying to control a thing that is walking on two legs as if you were controlling a jet fighter, and that is the stupidest thing you can possibly be doing. So it's not easy to pilot a primitive cockpit. Standard gyroscopes are cheap. They're just big spinning metal balls. Primitive armor. Primitive armor. So, all the problems that we've been having with through armor criticals? Primitive armor has a way higher chance for a through armor critical to hit. It's pretty similar to vehicle armor in that regard, that essentially the two hit table that you use for a unit that has primitive armor has a way more of those through armor critical slots. We've got, it's, moderately armored for all that. If the enemy doesn't get lucky with through armor criticals, you're going to be pretty safe. Except then the only thing that they armed it with was a bunch of damn missiles. This thing doesn't even have a laser to speak of. It means that if you actually get a through armor critical on your left arm, left torso, or right torso, kaboom! Kaboom! You are fucking dead, and all of the police budget in the world isn't going to make up for a mech that exploded. Point is, this thing is a piece of garbage, but uh, we can't. We could loot the LRM-10s off of it, but we actually stocked up on plenty of them. We could loot the LRM-10 ammo. Actually, I may want to do that. You know what? No. No, fuck it. I'm willing to bet. How much LRM-10 ammo do we have? That's LRM-10. Oh, we have one shot left. Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and put this thing on the slab to salvage out that ammo. That's a good catch, me and anyone else who's watching this, because you're the reason I do this. If it weren't for you, this wouldn't be done. So I'm glad that we were all involved in this. Um, so yeah, that dervish is getting sold. That'll be worth another 2K. Apparently, despite the fact that they didn't put a fusion engine in it, all of this stuff still costs a shitload. So don't know why they bothered. Um, the Crusader doesn't have a tech. Oh shit. Hang on. Uh, let's just assign Ideen to maintain it. Shit. Maintenance is a thing. I've got that enabled. That means that people need to be making regular maintenance checks in order to keep this mech upkept. Unfortunately, it looks like when I swapped the Crusader around a bit on its assignments, I must have lost its tech and forgot to put one back on. It gives you a warning if you advance a day without any maintenance, but I've got all these tanks that I'm not maintaining because I'm literally not going to see them for the time it takes for maintenance failure to actually start reducing their worth. So, whoops. Well, that Crusader is gonna take some problems with it, but whatever. We'll manage. We'll manage. We do have our Stalker 4N. I'm super torn between selling this and getting the value that I can off of it, and holding on to it because someday I may buy another Stalker. And someday that Stalker may need a left torso, a left arm, a right leg, or a left leg. Those are still perfectly workable. They're still in good shape. We already stripped all the excess armor and workable weapons off of it, but that's such a heavy loss, man. Um, I guess just to keep it as a memento, we should go ahead and mothball this, and if we need its parts in the future, we'll sell it off. If we need the cash desperately, we can sell it off. Just put that on ice, that decision on ice. We do have a Thunderbolt that we repaired. It's a decent medium mech. I haven't assigned anyone to it just yet. We just got it repaired. It was being persnickety with the arm that I was trying to replace, if I remember correctly. But it was being a pain in the ass is what it was, but we finally managed to get it fixed and operational. Now if only we can get rid of those machine guns. We do have something we'll be able to do with that, and in fact, it might be a good thing that I didn't really assign it yet. One thing we'll be able to do with this Thunderbolt, one reason I really like the Thunderbolts, is there is a refit that you can use for the Thunderbolts, the Tall Man. This is actually named after a character, Tallman, in a BattleTech book, who made this customized Thunderbolt and said, "You know what I like? I fucking like lasers and heat sinks. So you know what this mech's gonna have? Four." I absolutely love this design of mech because I am just a huge slut for medium lasers. They are one of the best damage to heat to range value weapons in the game, and I just love the work that they can do. We plug someone that's got a medium laser proficiency, or just a general laser proficiency, or just high accuracy, maybe even the captain, into this mech. He's got a heavily armed mech. It moves at good speed. You've got a bitch load of medium lasers, and if someone is just outside of your range, you can zap them with a large laser. It's really a very good design, and we've got all the parts we need because I've been stripping medium lasers like crazy. So as soon as this contract is up and I'm inside a drop bay moving away from this hellhole planet, I'll probably go ahead and start refitting to that and then decide who this goes to. Someone will deserve it. I guarantee that. So that's the state that our hangar is in currently. We've got a lot of stuff. We've got that we can sell. Looking at it, we've got about two. That's oh, not the Marauder, duh. But we've got Jaegermech. We just sold the other thing, but we've got this Dervish. That's about no, that's our good Dervish. There it is. 2 million, 2 million. Probably still roughly 2 million, even after we strip off the rest of this armor and the LRM-15 ammo. Um, that's going to be good for getting us up to about 11. We're not going to be seeing any more money from the Lyrans off of this one. They're done with us. But we maybe will get a little bit more salvage. We've also got the money that we're going to make all these vehicles, which might be altogether 1 million, maybe 1 more million. Transportation costs to the next place are going to be a pain in the ass. We are currently in a system that takes what? No, that's Tierfing. Sabik takes 43 a month and a half days to get out of its gravity well because of these huge stars that are interfering with everything. So that's going to make transportation costs a bitch. But that means that we'll have to save some cash for that, and the rest of the cash I'm saving for a very specific thing that I want, something on the unit market. Now, unfortunately, that something is something that wasn't coughed up this time. We've got a nicely priced Wolverine, and I do like the Wolverines. They've done good work for me, although this particular model I'm not super hot on. It trades out uh, one of our medium lasers and our large laser for an AC5, and why would you do that? That just introduces more things that can blow up in a mech, especially because then you mounted the AC5 armor in the right arm. This is actually one of the designs of Wolverines that we started the game with. It's a very common design for the Wolverine, but I hated it. So before we went out on our contract, I refitted it. I refitted it to the current model of Wolverine that I like, because it's a nice balance. In any case, that means that we've got a potential medium that we can pick up to put someone else in. But what I was really hoping for was another assault, even one that was kind of at price or over, so that I could get Captain Kobe back in the action in something that's worthy of him. No such luck this month, but we'll have at least a month that we have to spend in transit, so we'll have some opportunities in the future to see what the unit market coughs up. And first assault mech that I see, well, not the first, but the first good one, especially if it's another stalker. I love the stalkers so much. I wish I had like a little model of the stalker. I could go buy a little model of the stalker. I am going to go buy a little model of the stalker. Maybe just glue it on top of my support monitor. It'll bring good luck. It'll be the stalker of fortune. I'm sorry about the snorkeling. I don't know what's been happening today. I hope I'm not picking anything up. Anyways, um, personnel. We have gotten a shitload of XP this month just because of all the fights that we've been in. And Jesus, just look at Sassy. Last month, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kills. 6 kills in the last month. She is an ace and a half. I mean, I actually don't know how many kills you need to be to consider a mech warrior ace, but trust me, she's an ace. I am super glad to have Sassy on the team. Everyone else has been doing good work too. Now, one thing to check this time around, I won't make you watch me as I spend all of this stuff, But, oh right, in order to get edge, you have to spend it manually. How much does edge cost? Oh, right, I need to actually go to the rules for that. Just a minuto. Okay. I kind of lost track of what I was doing, but focusing on too many things. Yes, Edge costs 10 XP, which is sad because that's XP that I really would love to use on, say, getting her up to Gunnery 3. That would have been beautiful. But given the problems that we've had in the past, we really, especially for some of our best warriors like Sassy, we may just have to go ahead, bite the bullet, and spend the XP to get Edge now, just to make sure that we can keep these people. Um, I will make that decision. Uh, I actually, you know what? You come here for the big, life-changing decisions. We've got everyone up to, let's see here, small pugs, 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 happy, zero, hog, and genie all have enough XP to be able to invest in the edge. And I'm really tired of running into tragedy because I just don't invest in things until it's too late. The decision is right now. I'm investing in a point of edge for all of these guys. You'll see the edge pop up on them next time. And once that is invested, I will put it towards. Here, I'll give you an example of how this looks with Lieutenant Meta Allen. We spend the XP on. Oh, right, you can't actually spend it here. You have to just manually do it by ticking down their XP by 10. Ouch. And then uh, editing them to, let's see here, how do you edit the edge? I think it's just set edge 1. And at that point, you can set the edge triggers on head hits. The mechs that she's in can generally take 1 head hit and still be fine. Through armor criticals, very bad, very bad. Failed KO check, that would be based on knockouts. Ammo explosion, very bad. Mask failures, this is for equipment that won't exist for several years. So don't worry about that. What's really the problem are ammo explosion and through armor criticals. Ticking ammo explosion won't really do much. Ammo explosion would go off if, say, someone did a critical, the critical is rolled against the things that you have in the slot, and it lands on an ammo, and thus the ammo explodes. The problem is that in this stage of the game, back before double heat sinks and ferrofibrous and all sorts of other stuff that takes up a lot of critical slots, most mechs don't use up all of their critical slots. So when you would have an ammo explosion, say, in the right torso, it would roll for the ammo bin, the only critical that's in there, and hit that ammo bin, and then you'd re-roll it, and then it would hit that ammo bin. The best thing that we can use it on is preventing through armor criticals, because that avoids a lot of the problems that we've been having with a mech going from
100% to, well, or at least fully operational to fully fucking shithoused in a single lucky hit. We're going to do that on everyone who can afford it, and after they do that, I guarantee you they won't have enough XP to make another good choice. So that sucks, but what that's what we have to do apparently in order to try to round out and make sure that we don't have as many people dying on us. In our admin team, our logistical admin Lunda Hupkin has been doing excellent work for us. I believe that she's now got enough to. No, she's one short, just one short of getting her next admin rank. Apparently, she is a vessel tech, though, but that means that she's good at repairing starships, and we ain't anywhere close to owning one of them. So it'll be interesting in the future. Like when she's not doing administration, she can devote half her time to working on our vessel, I guess. Not that vessels end up in combat often in against the bot. If the AI doesn't know how to use VTOLs, it especially doesn't know how to use spacecraft. So, um, who else do we have that could potentially? Okay, so Londa is a regular. That means all of our other regulars would need 20. So that means that Chukwandun and all right, Boleslav. How much do you need to get to be a veteran mech tech? Is it still 20? Yeah, it's still 20. So that means that no one else has enough XP to really do anything anyway, also. So, sad, sad. Commander Kobe is going to invest in a point of edge. Too damn late. I'm so sorry. Um, Still having to do repairs on Pug's mech. That Marauder got badly savaged, but hey, I'm just happy that we got it back. Um, Unfortunately, we are still going to have to pay for the PPC because Roderick bungled the attempt to salvage one off of a vehicle that we had gotten way earlier. Good job, Roderick. Well, I guess can't blame him that much. I have been working him day in, day out, salvaging armor off of vehicles, so you know, you're expected to have a couple failures, and I am using an option this time where when you fail like that, you get a little bit of XP just to help soothe the wound. You learn from your failures in X company. So let's see. I've gone over our personnel. I've gone over our condition in the world. I've gone over where we are with our contract and where that's ending. Uh, This is pretty much the same as I explained it last time. Repair Bay, it's full of all sorts of fun colors. You can take a direct look at how messed up the Marauder is, which is actually, we've repaired everything except for the fact that we have to reattach a right torso and a right arm after that. Um, no one's in the infirmary, thank goodness. Uh, our finances, one nice thing was that getting the uh, mech right torso and mech right arm wasn't that expensive. Those parts are actually pretty cheap, as long as you're not replacing the head. This head that we purchased for that uh, uh, crud, I keep forgetting the name of it. It's right on the tip of my tongue. For that Jaeger mech that we then decided we were going to sell was kind of expensive. But that means that we have an extra heavy mech head sitting around if we should ever need it. So you know, don't panic too much. It's still it'll get used. We'll use it somewhere. I'm sure of it. Um, we did have to purchase some LRN-15 ammo because we just ran out. The trebuchet that Hog is using, the stuff that's mounted onto the Crusaders' arms, well outstripped my estimates for how quickly we would burn through that stuff. So we had to get a little extra. Uh, Maintenance costs are laughable. Don't even worry about them. But yeah, in general, we did make a bit of money with some of the stuff that we're selling off. We will make a bit more money. And at the end of this, we should hopefully get away from this planet with a net worth higher than we started. That's pretty much all you can ask for. Where are we on our Dragoons rating now? We're still rating C. mostly because we have the best fucking pilots in the galaxy, and I am unwilling to mess with that. One problem with not messing that is that we've been perpetually sitting at like 14 pilots. We have an opportunity to hire a couple more that have come across the board, but they've all been regulars or worse. And if we hire another regular, I'm afraid it'll throw off this elite skill rating that we're currently rocking because, like, so many of our guys are veterans or elites, and Captain Kobe is just so hardcore in and of himself that it might even drop our Dragoons rating. I like keeping that high. There's lots of rules that are associated with that for like kinds of contracts that you'll get and whatnot. Um, One thing I'm a little worried about is that I think we might just be just straddling C at 80. So if we don't win this one, it might actually drop us down. But, you know, you can only do so much. We have one IS-2 unit? What IS-2 unit do we have? We don't have any IS-2 units. Do we? I don't think we do. It's not counting the Marauder, is it? The Marauder doesn't have any heatsink or doesn't have any double heatsinks or anything. Well, whatever. It's crazy. Don't listen to it. It speaks only in lies, but it does speak to the kind of contracts that we'll be able to get in the future, and hopefully on a following day we'll be able to go get some good ones. Hell, who knows? We may just go back straight back to the Free Worlds League. They always treated us well back in our old campaign. On the other hand, we could also go somewhere that we haven't really gone at all ever and head over to the well, actually, now that I think about it, we did actually go to the Federated Suns at one point in the last campaign. I think that it was actually like one of the last contracts we did. We could also go over to the Capellan Confederation and see if they've got any like pirates that need taken care of. I would love to do a couple pirate missions. That would actually allow me to get settled in and do some work. In any case, this has been running on for about what? Yeah, 40 minutes or so. So at this point, let me wrap it up. Right now, we're almost done with this contract. We've got a couple more fights coming ahead, maybe just one more, maybe a couple more. If it is more than one more, we have a chance to get our contract score back up to where it should be. We are going to fix the mechs that we can. We should be able to get our roster mostly back in order. The only problem that we'll be looking at is that we'll have, out of our mech warriors, we do have one that is completely without mechs, and that's our commander. Everyone else does have a good mech, so we can make sure to get people assigned to new mechs and get them fighting. We can give some folks mech upgrades. For example, we've got we have Twitch in his urban mech and has been since the start of the campaign. And boy, that just is really limited where I'm willing to field Twitch. Look at him. Doesn't he look like the kind of schmuck who'd bring an urban mech to a serious fight? He's just kind of a goofball, this guy. But we can get him a hand-me-down mech. Uh, Maybe put him. I don't know. I don't think I'll put him in the tall man. We'll maybe pick something else up. Maybe that Wolverine that we pick up off the market if we decide to do that. Maybe something else. But we'll get him into a better mech, hopefully. Probably more important than him is getting Icicle out of this death trap wasp. Still managed to kill a bulldog in it, though. That's more than. Well, no, Twitch also managed to kill one with his a Vidette also. So, hey, yeah, I can't disparage them too much. They did work. They earned their paychecks. In any case, um, we'll put people in good mechs. We'll get the fuck out of here. We'll get all of our shit sorted out. We've got a lot of stuff in here, and I'm honestly probably not going to sell off anything because I'm a hoarder. I'm a bad hoarder when it comes to spare parts. But, you know, it pays off sometimes. We'll get shit fixed. Hopefully no one ends up in the infirmary. We'll do some customization on that Thunderbolt to turn it into a very cool mech. We'll keep making money, and we'll keep growing the company. And that's where we are. So, I will see you next time. for an exciting encounter against the Draconis Combine, and then after that, I may not see you until we are actually done with the contract, and we'll be doing a contract post-op. See you then.